All right, let's dive right in. We're going to break down Alex Hormozi's blueprint for building wealth. And let me tell you, it's probably not what you're thinking. This isn't about grinding out 100-hour weeks or just working harder. No, it's about a massive shift in mindset, and it's especially crucial now because AI has completely changed the game.
I mean, you read a quote like that, and it just stops you dead in your tracks, right? The CEOs of McDonald's, IKEA, Ford, Motorola, and Yahoo combined? That's so unbelievably audacious, it just forces you to ask one simple question.
So how? Was it just by outworking every single person on the planet? Sacrificing all your sleep, your health, your sanity, just to cram in more hours than seems humanly possible? I mean, that's the story we get sold all the time, right? But Hormozi says that whole idea, it's just fundamentally broken.
Nope. The answer is much simpler and much more profound. It's about understanding what work actually is. See, he argues that most of us, well, we've learned the wrong lesson. We think about work in terms of time and effort, the inputs. But if you actually want to build wealth, you've got to flip that script. You have to stop focusing on the inputs and get obsessed with the outputs.
So this brings us to a total redefinition of hard work. It's not about pure effort. It's all about leverage. It means most of us are using the completely wrong equation for success. To really beat the competition, you don't just row harder, you have to out-leverage them. You need a bigger boat, a faster engine.
And here it is, the core formula for this entire framework. Work equals volume times leverage. Let's break that down. Volume, that's just how many times you do something. Think of it as pulling a lever. Leverage, that's how much you get each time you pull that lever. It's the length of the lever itself. See, you can only pull that lever so many times in a day, right? Your time is finite. But the length of that lever, how much you get from each pull, that is basically unlimited.
And this really shows you the two paths you can take. On one side, you've got low leverage. That's just more hours, more sweat, basically trading your time directly for money. It's the hamster wheel. On the other side, you've got high leverage. This is where it gets exciting. We're talking better tools, killer skills, a smarter strategy, getting way more done in the same amount of time. It's the difference between you making 100 sales calls by yourself versus building a system and a team of 15 people who are all making those calls for you. That's leverage.
Okay, so if leverage is the goal, how do you start building it? Where do you even begin? Well, Hormozi says the very first step is actually the one where almost everybody messes up. You have to focus. You have to stop splitting your energy across a million different things. And he's super blunt about this. Every time you chase a new shiny object, every time you start another business idea before the first one is even working, you're hemorrhaging potential. See, we think we're leaving money on the table when we say no to a new opportunity. But the real money you're losing? It's the astronomical potential of the one thing you're not going all in on.
So what's with this number, 9? Well, this number represents Hormozi's own big early mistake. A mistake that, in his own words, kept him totally broke, even though he felt like he was working himself to death.
There it is. He had 9 different businesses going at the same time and was completely broke. He was spread so thin, gyms, marketing agencies, you name it, that not a single one of them could get off the ground. They couldn't hit escape velocity. It's the perfect example of activity not equaling progress. He was trying to pour water into 9 different cups at once, but none of them ever got full.
And this is why that focus is so critical. It's what pushes you through what he calls the valley of despair. That really tough beginning part of any new venture where it feels like nothing is working and everyone wants to quit. When you're focused, you're not constantly restarting the video game on level 1 with a new character. You stick with it. You learn the patterns, you beat the boss, and you can finally compete with the players who are already on the final level because they've been all in from the start.
All right, so you've picked your one thing. You're focused. The next layer of leverage comes from stacking your skills. And this is key. We're not just talking about collecting random hobbies. We're talking about strategically acquiring skills that actually multiply each other's power.
And his own journey is the perfect case study. He started with fitness and nutrition. That gave him discipline and energy. Then he layered on sales. Then he learned local marketing, which created leads for his sales skill. See how that works? Then came operations, then scaling sales teams, then national marketing. Each new skill didn't just add to his toolbox, it made every other skill he already had exponentially more valuable.
This is what he means when he says skills compound. It's not about being a jack of all trades, master of none. It's about becoming an absolute weapon by combining a few super powerful related skills. Think about it. If you stack the skill of building great software with the skill of selling it to millions, I mean, that's a kind of leverage that most people can only dream of.
Okay, but all of this, focus, skills, it all leads to the big one. The most powerful form of leverage that has ever existed, something that completely dwarfs everything else we've just talked about. We are, of course, talking about AI.
And look at what it can already do. It's writing entire books, generating photorealistic images from a text prompt, creating video. And as Hormozi points out, the interesting thing is, AI didn't start at the bottom with low-skilled jobs. It came right for the top. It came for the high-skilled, white-collar creative work first. It can replicate an expert legal argument in seconds, something that might have taken a lawyer a lifetime to perfect. The power here is just mind-boggling.
And this quote really puts it into perspective. This isn't just another tool, like the internet or the smartphone. The thinking here is that a truly intelligent machine, well, that could literally be the last invention humanity ever needs to create. It's a fundamental shift that could change, well, everything.
So here's how this becomes the ultimate leverage multiplier for you. Think of AI as a filter. It can 10x your consumption. Imagine it summarizing every book, article, and email you need to read. Then it can 10x your output, drafting your replies, creating your content, outlining your strategies. You do the math. 10 times 10, that's a 100x increase in your personal leverage. And the crazy part? It doesn't cost you a single extra minute of your time.
Okay, so that brings us to the most important part of this entire discussion. What does this all mean for you, right now, today? How do you actually turn all this theory into action?
Well, it starts with your mindset. You have a choice. The old mindset is fear. AI is here to replace me. That leads to inaction. The new mindset, the winning mindset, is opportunity. AI is here to supercharge me. And that leads to action. The people who lean in, who learn how to use these tools as a partner, they're going to have an almost unfair advantage.
And in the end, it all comes back to this. Technology changes, the tools get more powerful, but the things that really matter, they're timeless. You need the courage to start, the intelligence to learn, and the heart to see it through when things get tough. And as he says, the good news is you already have all three of those things.
And that really is the final question, isn't it? The world doesn't really care about your backstory or your excuses. It only cares about what you do next. The possibility is there. The leverage is available to everyone. The tools are right at your fingertips. The only question mark is you. It's not about what's possible anymore. It's about what you're going to choose to do. So, what's your move?